Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Pada Shankaram Lokashankaram. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram. Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram. Om Partaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Graditam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshini Bhagavati Ashtadashadhyayini Ambatvam Anusandadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshini. Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutah Stunvanti Devyai Stavaihi Vedai Sangapadakramopanisadaihi Gayanti Yam Samagah Dhyanavastita Dadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yogino Yasyantam Navidusura Suraganah Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Hari. So when we left last class, the Kauravas and Pandavas were all learning under Drona. And when the student thinks, or rather when the teacher thinks that the students have learned, he has to test them. So he will organize a public performance so that they can have their view on the stage, what we call Ranga Pravesha or Arangetram. So the Rajakumaras have learned different skills and they should display what they have learned. So all the citizens had gathered in the stadium to see the princess and who would later become the Rajas and watch the demonstration of their skills. They came to see their swords, spears, bows and arrows and their maces and how they can ride their horses, chariots and everything. They wanted to see. It was a huge gathering. The queens were also there, Kunti and others, they were all there. Then huge bugles were blown and the signal was given to begin the festivities. Rajkumara came down galloping on the horses, showing off their skills to a thunderous cheering of the spectators. And the demonstration by Arjuna was mind-boggling. When all this was going on, and they were about to announce the MVP, the most valuable prince, they were just getting ready to give that title to Arjuna. Then someone entered. Wait a minute, not so fast. Wait one darn minute. I must also be given a chance to show off my skills, my dexterity. Whatever Arjuna has done, I'll show that I can do even better. What he did is nothing. So a brilliant young man entered the stadium wearing shining armor and beautiful earrings. Immediately, Kunti's heart started beating faster. The young man was, yes, you guessed it right, none other than Karna. The way he spoke and challenged, he was dazzled, amazed, surprised, shocked. So naturally, the crowd was cheering. We all want a good match, good challenge. So the match is one-sided, you lose interest. So it has to be challenging. And here is a challenger, and the way he was coming across, yes, he had such an air of confidence in him. Of course, some boos were also there. It was such a pandemonium, and Dronacharya has to step in because it was as much his show, the teacher. So it was as much his show as that of the Rajkumaras. So he said, "Who are you? You are the prince of which kingdom? Who is your teacher?" Suddenly his face fell. He could not establish his credentials. He could not prove that he was a Kshatriya, that he belonged to a warrior caste. He was only a Sutaputra, son of a charioteer. That's all he could show for himself. He could not tell them that he belonged to any royal family. He said, "My name is Radheya. My mother is Radha. Karna is my another name." All that is okay, but this whole spectacle is only for princes. If you do not meet that criteria, you don't belong here. If you don't belong to the warrior class, you are not qualified to display your skills. Karna was humiliated, and you can imagine his hurt. Kunti was also suffering. And she could not speak up and tell the truth. People would not believe it, and if they did, it would have been a great scandal. Child out of wedlock. So at that time, Duryodhana was very quick. Here's a young man, majestic, who is brave enough to challenge Arjuna. One has to admire the courage of this man. He was so fast, thinking on his feet. Father would stamp whatever he said. So he got up and said, the only thing that Karna lacked was that he could not tell from which kingdom he has come. I make him the king of Angadesh. So he is now the prince from Angadesh. We can take part. So he did, and all the people in the stadium were amazed at what they saw. He almost fainted. Karna did not know at that time, he didn't know. he was Kuntiputra. Duryodhana gave Karna the support when he needed. And Karna remained loyal to Duryodhana. Duryodhana also supported Karna all the time. So that friendship, the mutual friendship between Karna and Duryodhana was something great. That story will unfold later. So what we saw now is Karna's entry here. And the most dramatic turning point in the story of Mahabharata so far. As I told you before, Duryodhana always thought that the Pandavas were a thorn to his political aspirations, saw them as a threat to his power. Since Pandu was the earlier ruler, the Pandavas had the right to succession. And Yudhishthira, as the eldest of them, he was a crown prince. He should be the crown prince. Duryodhana did not like that. Therefore, he was all the time thinking how to get rid of it. In childhood itself, he was plotting to kill Bhima, but did not succeed. Poisoning him and throwing him in the river did not work. So now he was scheming. What should I do to finish them off? Of course, he had his own loyal support from all his brothers. Only one of his brothers thought what he was doing was wrong. But he also did not protest. In any case, his voice would be drowned by the other 99. So, another admirable point in those brothers, the brotherly love. Hastinapura at that time was the city of brotherly love in the clan of Kauravas. We only wish that such love and loyalty should have been there for the right things. Of course, Vidurji always saw that somehow that the Pandavas always get protection. Now you see, Bhishma Pitamaha had total feelings and sympathy for Pandavas. Like everybody, Arjuna was his favorite. Dronacharya's sympathy was also with the Pandavas, and again Arjuna was his dearest disciple. Dhritarashtra's case, little bit more difficult. He was caught between the attachment to his sons and the love for his brother and his brother's sons. So he was always dragged, tormented with these conflicting emotions. As we will see later on the battlefield also, when attachment is there, discrimination is compromised. Dhritarashtra at the same time, he had the understanding of what is right and what is wrong. And he also used to take the advice from Vidurji. The funny thing is, when he was in the company of Vidurji, he wanted to take his advice sincerely. He would to him. And he would also say, yes, what you are saying is correct. That's what I will do. And he meant it also at that time. And the scene changes. He steps out of the room and his sons come in. And the sons would change his mind again. So that is the tough situation that Dhritarashtra had to face. Now, so in addition to his brothers, he had one more person, Karna. So Karna joined the advisory council. And then there was an addition to that. Who was that? That was Shakuni, Gandhari's brother. Duryodhana's uncle. That Shakuni is a strange character. Strange character. Sometimes I wonder whether he was on the side of the Kauravas or the Pandavas. As we read, we probably need to read more and then we can figure it out. I've heard that he was very unhappy that his sister voluntarily blindfolded. First of all, he was unhappy that he married this blind Dhritarashtra. That was his first displeasure in that marriage. Secondly, on top of that, she blindfolded herself. Voluntarily only, nobody asked her to. And he did not like that one bit. So he said that I will destroy this whole dynasty. He didn't come out and say, but he had that resolve. So it's difficult to figure out what was going through his mind. Anyhow, he was in Duryodhana party. So Duryodhana, Dushasana, Karna and Shakuni. These four were always together. So they were, four of them, they were all together. The older group was Vidurji, Dhritarashtra, Bhishmacharya and Dronacharya. And Vidurji always gave the right advice, the dharmic. One day, Duryodhana came up with a plot to destroy the entire Pandavas. All five of them, along with their mother. Yes, Vaibhamam. The plan was to go to another place. In the kingdom only, he would build a palace for them. That palace would be made of wax and with all combustible material. The outside wall may look wonderful, beautiful, but it will catch fire in no time. So they should live in that palace and he will set fire to the palace. So that is the scheme he He was thinking, plotting. The awesome foursome got together and were planning. But one thing we find here, Duryodhana has to get the approval of Dhritarashtra, who was the king. He was the king, but administered by Bhishma. So Duryodhana party has to trick Dhritarashtra to accepting any of these kinds of plans. Therefore, they went to him and said, "Oh father, I want to send the Pandavas to this nice place in our kingdom. It's a pleasant resort town. It will be like a retreat for them." I don't remember the exact name of the place, but I think it is Varanavata. Please check it out. People now have a lot of sympathy and love for them. Duryodhana said about Pandavas. So Duryodhana was thinking in his mind, out of sight, out of mind. So I will take the Pandavas out of the sight of people in the capital city, and we will relocate them. In government, they always do that. They don't like a bureaucrat, especially in India. The civil service people, they come to the bureaucracy. The ministers come through election, and if they don't like the bureaucrats and the way they are administering, they will transfer them to some far out remote place. And they have that power. Like that. That's what he was thinking. So we'll send him away. But he didn't say like that to his father. They are our dear cousins. This would be a nice change for them. This town is not big enough for the two of us, Kauravas and Pandavas. And the pretext was that in that town there was going to be a big religious festival and they should go there, take part in it, and they must do so comfortably. So he tried to convince Dhritarashtra and get his approval. Now Vidurji got wind of this scheme. Dhritarashtra yielded to his son's proposal. Even though he was not for it, he knew it was not the right thing. He wanted everybody to stay together and all that. He did not like it. But what to do? Again, lack of discrimination due to attachment. He said, okay. And then they got hold of an architect, Purochan was his name, and he was given the job of design. He got the contract for design and build this palace. So after a few days, while that was going on, Dhritarashtra called Yudhishthira and said, I want you to go to this Varanavata, this town. There are going to be a lot of festivals on there, and then you can take part in them. Yudhishthira knew this is not any overpouring love or anything. He knew that, but still he cannot say no. After all, Dhritarashtra was his father. So he said, all right, we will go. So Kunti and her sons, the Pancha Pandavas, started the journey. The palace construction was going on, and by the time they reached there, the palace was ready. But before they left, Vidurji spoke to Yudhishthira. And he spoke in front of everyone. But Yudhishthira was able to read between the lines. He understood. So when Vidurji asked him, "Did you understand what I said?" Yudhishthira said, "Yes. I got the message." He didn't say that. "Do you understand?" "Yes." So the cautionary message was given, received and understood. The palace and all that looks grand, but it is very deceptive. There are plans to burn it down. Vidurji told him, "I will send a person who is good in making tunnels. He will come and give you a password, come with a code. Then you will know that that person was sent by me. I have sent it, you know. Then he will dig a tunnel from the palace out to somewhere in the jungle. He will do that very discreetly. It's always a good idea. Before entering any building, especially big buildings, you must have a clear idea where the exit doors are. In case of an emergency, you must know how to get out of there. Very important. Even in flight, the flight attendants say, "Please look for the exit doors clearly marked." And they would add, "The closest exit door may be behind you." Like that. Even a burglar, first he looks where the exits are, and when he enters the house to rob, in case somebody tips off and the police start coming, how to get out of there in a hurry. The key to any perfect crime is a clean getaway. So very important. So Vidurji said, "I will have that plan for you. That fellow will come and dig a nice tunnel, and as and when Duryodhana burns the palace down, you all can get out in a hurry." So they all went there. They were given a hearty welcome. The palace looked beautiful, comfortable. They thanked them. "Thank you very much for the reception. This is very nice." And "I built this place especially for you. I will be the caretaker here. I'll take care of you. Whatever you need, do not hesitate to call me." After they settled in, they started looking around, knocked on the walls, tock, 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 and found they were not sturdy. It was not steel and concrete. They could see very easily, see that all of them were all made of flammable materials. It was just like a movie set. I'm sure you're all familiar in the old days. All the movies were made in the studios where they had these elaborate sets. Even now, you can go to Universal Studios and all that in Hollywood. Some of the old sets are still there for display. That's what they are. They will look like palaces, this, that, and whatnot. But only the facade will be there. Behind that, there will not be anything. Anyway, so some months passed, and they were staying there. And during that time, the man sent by Vidurji also came and established his credentials, gave him the passcode, and then he started working. So he dug the escape tunnel also. Rochana was also waiting for them to get comfortable with the stay. You cannot go in there and burn the place down next day. Okay. So let them stay there, let them be comfortable. Then eventually they will let their guard down. Something or other, and then you can set the palace on fire. So this cat and mouse game was going on between those two. When the tunnel was ready and everything, and the Pandavas had rehearsed their escape. Escape plan was thoroughly rehearsed, and then Duryodhana and his party to set the palace on fire. They set the palace on fire themselves. So the Pandavas and Kunti, they knew it's going to go up in flames, and then they just have to get up, take the tunnels and go up. And they did exactly that. But Purochana was trapped. He didn't know the palace was going to go up in flames. So the Pandavas turned the tables on Purochana. And of course, it was not an easy escape route. What can you think? It was not a tunnel, and just enough so that they can get out of there. So Bhima had to take Kunti on his back when she was too weak to walk. He also had to help his other brothers when they were tired. Not an easy thing. Finally, somehow, they made it out of there. At least they were not trapped in the burning palace. Once you get into the tunnel and get out of there, the fire is not going to touch you. And then before they left, they also staged the palace in such a way that it perished in the fire. The news about the fire at the Pandavas' palace, with no survivors, spread like forest fire and reached the Kauravas. Duryodhana was so happy, so happy. Everything happened as planned. Even sooner than expected. He had not given the go ahead to blow up the place. So he was happy that it happened exactly like what he wanted. But he could not show how happy he was with that news. So that would blow everything up. So he and his brothers shed crocodile tears, false tears. Everyone was so sad. On Duryodhana party, they pretended. The other people were sad. And then, so they were, after all, cousins. Nobody else was there, so they had to perform all the religious rites. All that was done. In the meantime, the Pandavas came out of the jungle and trekked through the forest to go as far away as they can. If they remain close by, they may be caught. So they went from place to place. Finally, they went to one town. Ekachakra is the name of the town, if I remember right. There they sought refuge in a Brahmana's house. They pretended that they were Brahmanas, and the Brahmana family, even though they themselves were poor, they accommodated them. Kunti, the old lady, is there, and she is coming with 5 Brahmana boys. So they took them in. And they will go for bhiksha and give it to Kunti, who told the boys, you should always share whatever you get. Whatever you get, bring in to the house, it should be shared. Except one exception was made. That was when it came to food. The food was divided into 2 halves. One half went to Bhima. The other half was shared equally among the rest. What to do? One was Dharmaputra, the other was Vayuputra, the third was Indraputra. But this Vayuputra, he had some appetite, I tell you. So he had to have 50% share. Anyway, they had to live like that in a pitiable condition. And they did just that. They were quiet, did not want anyone to know who they were. Even the family with whom they were living did not know who they were. They were quiet, did not cause any trouble to anyone. Then one day, they found that everyone in the family was so sad. They were all crying, sadness all over. They were a poor family, people. They were happy with whatever they had, but suddenly, why this problem? Why were they so sad? So Kunti wanted to know what had happened. Then they came to know what the reason was. There was an asura living on the outskirts of this town. His name was Bakasura. He was a terrible fellow. He wanted to finish the whole town when he came in. So the town leaders made a truce with him. Please do not destroy this town and everyone here. Every day we will send you a cartload of food from a family in the town. So we will take turns, each family will send you a lot of food. If you are still hungry after all the food items, you can even eat the person who brings the food to you. So that was going on for some time, and now it was the turn of this Brahmana family, the family with whom they were staying. So who to send? The head of the household, that Brahmana said, I'm the head of the family, so I will go. And the wife said, how can I live without you? So I will go. The son said, no. I cannot send my parents and be here. I will go. So like that, it was a close-knit family, good family. Everyone was selfless and everything. Each one cared for the rest of the family. So Kunti heard all this discussion. Immediately, she told her sons, the Pandavas, hey, this is what I am hearing. So this family has given us the ashraya. They have given us the refuge when we are in trouble. We came in from nowhere. We asked them that we would stay here. They have given us the accommodation. They're very kind. Now they are in trouble. So we should help them. Without any hesitation, Bhima said, I will go. I'll take care of this Bakasura. He was just itching for a good fight. You know, he has been living like a Brahmana in his Brahmana family. Enough of that. I'm getting rusty. Poor Sattvic Brahmana. So I need some action. So it comes with a cartload of food. It's good all over. So before I make this delivery, I'll finish it off. So Kunti went and told the family, in appreciation of all what you've done for us, I will send my son in place of your only son. My son is strong. He can take care of this Bakasura. He will save your son, your family, the entire town. Brahmana was reluctant. You say he can take care of it, but in case if that were not to happen, how could an Aditi's son give him a death sentence? I cannot do that. But Kunti said, no, do not worry. Bhima will not be killed. And he will kill Bakasura. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. No doubt in my mind. All right. So Bhima took the cartload of food, and by the time he reached the cave where Bakasura was living outside the town, the cart was empty. And when he heard the cart pulling in the driveway to his cave, Bakasura came out and he saw so many vessels on the cart. So happy. And the driver, Bhima, hefty fellow, all right. So, extra serving today. But when he came near the cart, started looking, all vessels were empty. Where's the food? Oh, Bhima gave out a big bird. I ate them on the way over. See what? Yes, I was hungry. Huh? All these days, I was eating by taking bhiksha. And I had to give away half of it to my brothers and to my mom. I was always hungry. Your cartload of food was so tempting, I finished it. Anyhow, Bakasura, sir, thank you very much for this offering of bhiksha to me. So, Annadata Sukhi Bhava. So he blessed him also. But Bakasura was not pleased. He was so mad. He came charging like a mad bull and tried to gore Bhishma. He had no strength because his last meal was the day before. But Bhima was full strength. The battery meter said fully charged for Bhima. The fight that ensued, Bakasura was no match for Bhima. In a few minutes, Bhima finished off that Bakasura. The news spread. Bakasura is dead. He was killed by the Brahmana guest. The whole town was happy. They all rejoiced. They don't have to worry about this Bakasura anymore. The Pandavas were worried. They were trying to keep a low profile. If people come to know this news, they will figure out that they are no Brahmanas. They will know these are Kshatriyas only. And investigation will start now. What happened then? You have to wait till next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasheshyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.